The next principle is a principle of self mastery, that is Atma Vinigraha. Before we try to lead others, before we attempt to influence, correct, or command others, Lord Krishna reminds us a timeless truth. If you can't manage yourself, you will not be able to manage anyone. In today's fast paced corporate world, with constant deadlines and global clients and late night calls and constant performance pressures, conflicts rarely begin with a strategy. A regulated mind can handle pressures, criticism, and even provocation also. But an unregulated mind turns small issues into emotional battles. So, how do we practice this Atma Vinigraha at the workplace? The first thing is control over speech. You all are very aware that words are sharp and has strong sharp edges than a sword also. You need to avoid shouting, sarcasm, or public humiliation of your employees or peer people. Remember, raising your voice may not win the argument, but you lose as a person. You lose respect in the eyes of others. Second, train yourself in active listening, which is of very importance. Today's corporate environment, people don't just want solutions, they also want respect. Most employees want to feel heard before they are willing to agree. When leaders listen calmly, half the conflict dissolves automatically. The third, choose your response over reaction. Sometimes it happens that we react too much. Reaction is immediate, but response is intentional and response is thoughtful. Lord Krishna does not rush Arjun into action. He asks him to take a pause, reflect, and then act. That pause between the stimulus and the response is where wisdom is born. The fourth, build a culture of respectful disagreement. There might be situations then where people will not agree to you, or you might not be agreeing to others, but there should be a respectful disagreement. There is a way of telling that you do not agree with others. Why? Because of certain reasons. So you should be able to completely tell the reasons why you are not able to accept or why you are not able to agree to their opinions. Conflict is not an enemy, but disrespect is. Let me share a very classic example from educational environment, because I come from education background. I've spent 23 years now into teaching amazing students and see them grow as successful managers everywhere. Imagine a school where the head of that school, out of whatever pressure that person may have for results, expectations from the top management, then the inspections happening in the school, rankings, constantly under pressures, that person constantly nags the teachers or the faculty members in the department. Every morning begins only with reminders. After every some time, there is a staff meeting. It turns into fault finding. Why is the syllabus not finished? Why are the parents complaining? Why students are not there in the class? Why are the results not improving? The intention may be good to improve the performance, but the methodology is not correct. It is very impulsive. Teachers are corrected publicly, messages or emails specifically are sent late at night. Small mistakes are unnecessarily magnified while genuine effort gets completely unnoticed. Over time, something changes. What happens? Teachers stop experimenting with any new teaching methods, or they do not want to nurture students, they just want to finish their duty. They stop sharing challenges openly, they stop working out of fear, and they just work for out of fear and not inspiration. No one argues, no one rebels, but motivation quietly disappears. Now here is where Atma Vigraha comes into place. The issue is not accountability, the issue is lack of self mastery. A leader who has not regulated their speech and emotions begins to transfer the entire stress and the load which that person carries downwards. Nagging becomes a habit, and habit becomes a culture. Contrast this with a head who pauses before speaking. Instead of nagging, one should ask, what support do you need to finish this? What obstacles are you facing in this classroom? How can we resolve this issue together? The same standard remains, the same expectations exist, but the tone changes everything. Teachers feel very respected and not just monitored. Accountability becomes an ownership, and performance improves not because of fear but because of the trust. Gita reminds us leadership is not controlling people, it is controlling yourself to lead the people. When a school head practices self mastery, the institution grows stronger, steadily, consistently, and enriching throughout its legacy. So, self mastery is therefore not a soft skill, but it is a leadership competency. This is the quiet power, the invisible strength of Vinigraha.